California, and I have decided that this is going to be the very first travel edition that I'm going to have on my YouTube station because I'm super excited with all of the that I've got in my mind as a practitioner, and I really wanted to just share it with other women over 50. And a lot of what our lifestyle is about holistic low carb living. And the method that I actually recommend for my clients, as well as living this lifestyle as my purpose and my passion, and for my own health and vitality, it's all that I recommend. And I want to be able to inspire and motivate other women to get out and have adventures as well. And so this was something that I decided to do today because somebody asked me, what do I do? What do I eat on a regular basis? And I thought it might be interesting to actually let you guys know that as I travel, I actually pack my food that I want to eat. I usually travel solo because I am just an adventurer. My human design is projector, and I am a bit of a hermit on that human design process. So I love getting out and exploring. And it's sometimes hard to find a companion to go with you. So don't let that slow you down or even stop you. There's so many places we can go that are safe, that we can just go to state parks and national parks and get out and explore and just drive up the coast or wherever you are. I like to drive, usually I'll drive within anywhere from 3 hours. I could do a turnaround in one day if I'm just doing a day trip. If it's going to be over 3 hours, I might do an overnight. And so one of the things that I have decided to do is on my way up to Santa Rosa here in California, I've got a wedding this weekend, and I have never been to Santa Cruz. And so one of the things I wanted to do was to head on over to Santa Cruz. Well, I'm not a sit in the hotel type of girl. It's after 5 o'clock now. I've already got 7 miles of wandering in. It's time for me to slow down and do some studying and look over one of my clients' tests because I have an analysis to do this next week. And so I wanted to go over her test and analyze that and do some studying. But in the meanwhile, here I am. So just know that you can take food with you in a cooler when you're on a road trip in a car. And it's so easy to do. I usually start thinking about getting my food organized a couple of weeks before I leave, because what I start doing is I'll have something put away in the freezer, or I'll make a serving. I'll have 3 servings of something and I'll stick one in the freezer. And so I ended up having extra palmini spaghetti noodles with a spaghetti sauce. I had that in the freezer, and then I also had like a taco meat in the freezer. And so I packed both of those into my cooler. I packed 1 serving of a 2 Teton Ranch grass-fed hot dogs that I could use. It's just shy of 30 grams of protein. It's only about 24 grams of protein. And so thus it's not one, a minimum of 2. And then you kind of want to think about what other kind of protein you're going to get with that, because you really want to focus on 30 grams of protein when you eat. And so I could only really eat 2 meals a day. I've noticed, like today I had breakfast. I started eating breakfast around, I left my house about 6. I think I started eating around 8. And then I kind of just ate for an hour, and it was just pistachio nuts, some macadamia nuts. Then I had a serving of bacon, and I had a serving of bison beef sausage that I had cooked up, and I had extra. So I made 3 servings of that, and I had like 4 servings of bacon packed into my cooler. And then I also had, along with that, I had the sausage and the bacon, the nuts and pistachios. I think that was what I had for breakfast, and I was full. And so I didn't eat anything else after that. That was a full serving. And so that was breakfast. And when I got to Santa Clara, I'm in Santa Cruz, California. And so I wanted to see Rancho de Oso State Park. So I drove down there to check out the Welcome Center as well as the Nature Center. They are closed during the week, but there was some hiking trails. And so I had a picnic. I had some keto pizza that I had brought along because I'd stuck that in the freezer from the week prior. And then that's what I had with lunch. And then I had the rest of my sausage. And that was what filled me up for lunch. And prior to that, I stopped off for a cup of coffee. So I had a hot cup of coffee that I had with me at my picnic and I took on my walk. So I got about 2 miles of wandering there. And that was fun. That always makes me feel so joyful. When you can let go of your stress, tune into nature, and just get yourself feeling joy, that is so amazing, because what that does for your body is it puts you into a parasympathetic state so that you could actually get your movement but also activate fat loss. And if you're eating a low carb diet and you're in ketosis, you're going to burn a little bit of fat that way, or you're definitely not going to be putting on any fat when you're having something like keto pizza, which is a little bit maybe more carbs than I normally have on a regular basis. And then when you're looking at trying to be in ketosis and losing weight while living low carb, and the thing you want to be able to be aware of is fine tuning what your insulin resistant threshold is and whether your carb threshold is higher or lower, and kind of look at that, because everybody's going to be different into how many carbs they can actually have on a holistic low carb diet and lifestyle process. So that was what I did. And then I'm still not ready to go to the hotel. I'm here to explore. So I got into town about 5 o'clock or 12 o'clock and went over to Rancho de Oso. Then I came back and I explored the Natural Bridges area and went for just about 2.5 miles of wandering there. Checked out the beach, the nature center, the Monarch Garden there, the Natural Bridges. And then I got in the car and drove to my hotel and checked in. And then, of course, I wasn't done wandering yet. So I went across to the beach, and then I wandered for about a mile to the lighthouse area, wandered around there another good half mile once I got there, and then a mile back. So I think all told I have about 7 miles of wandering and walking here. And then, you really want to think about when you get out to explore areas, you want to be able to get some movement and be outside. Even though the sun wasn't shining, I was still getting the solar light on my skin. So I was, I had brought a sweater, but it was overcast this morning, but it warmed up okay. So every time I put my sweater on, I had to take it off. So I wanted the air on my skin. And so that's all good because we're getting sunlight on our skin. And you want to build up your solar callus. Part of being outside in spring is building your skin up for when you're going to be outside in the summertime. You want to start getting light on your skin in the morning and start building up that solar callus so that you could actually go outside during the noon solar time and get a little bit of sunlight. And so you want to start slow and build up. And so it could be 5 minutes of light at the solar noon, and then you may be able to build up longer. And if you actually have reset your metabolism and you're doing good, you're getting selenium, you're not eating any wheat, you're not getting any bromide in your diet, you've been salt loading, you might want to check into the iodine book called The Iodine Crisis, and I think it's Lynn Farrow is her name. Listen to that, read that, get yourself a thyroid reset. And then once you start getting that information and dialing in the companion nutrients that you need, what you want to do is put yourself on iodine. And so once you've done that, then you could get outside and tan. That's why my skin tans so well, is because I am on iodine. I've reset my metabolism. I've been living low carb for over 8 years, and so I don't get any bakery bread. I don't have any bromide. I don't use any fluoride. We want to make sure we don't get any of those, and chloride. As much as possible, we need to make sure we don't get those in our diet. And so I guess you can't control chloride when you are traveling. However, when you're home, you do want to have a shower filter or a whole house water filter so that you could actually keep fluoride and chloride out of your water system and off of your skin as best you can. And so that's just a lifestyle hack there. So when you're traveling, when I'm by myself, I don't go to restaurants. I actually just basically, I started eating at 8. I was done with pretty much done eating by 3, but I did have a little bit of dark chocolate with some matcha green tea. So this is a sugar-free, 100% chocolate, sugar-free chocolate by Evolve. That's their dark chocolate with coconut butter in the middle. No added sweetener at all. It is bitter, but I actually like it. I can hardly even eat the sweeter ones anymore because they're just too sweet for me. And then I had that with a matcha green tea that I make in advance. So I made 4 of them for my trip, and I keep them in my cooler. That's in my back of my truck. And what I put in it was the matcha green tea, and I use coconut milk, and then I use spirulina. I put in collagen. I probably put a little MCT oil in there. And you could always add a little bit of vanilla for extra flavor, but my collagen was flavored, so it gives it a tropical flavor. And so I have 4 of those for my weekend. And that's what I had pretty much had for dinner with some dark chocolate. So that was dinner. So that was it. That's what I ate today. And so what else is in my cooler? I've already mentioned, I think I packed a little celery, a little bit of kimchi, and I have some cucumber in there. Sometimes I like to nibble when I drive because that keeps me more alert. And I might have those with some of my lunch. And for breakfast, I have hard-boiled bacon and a little bit more sausage. And I brought some Peterson's Canadian bacon ham. I have that too. And I kind of partition things off depending on how much protein I'm trying to load up on. And so that's my goal, is to just make sure I get enough protein. And I brought a little kimchi for a little extra gut support. And I like to nibble on celery and cucumber. So those are the things that I have in my cooler. And then I have macadamia nuts, pistachios, and the dark chocolate. And I picked up some pork rinds for the road trip. So that's what I have. And so that's the food that I'm focused on. So just know that you can eat low carb as you go. You just have to make the choice to do it. This is part about making the choice to live low carb lifestyle so that you can take care of your health and correct your metabolism. And you want to look at this as carbohydrates are addictive. I have definitely been carbohydrate addictive person. And even if I eat extra blueberries, I will always raise my sugar level. My sugar switch flips back on, and I start craving more food, and I crave more blueberries. And so I don't like to eat them because they do make me crave more food, and I'll overeat them. And so those are one of the foods I like to stay away from for that reason. So always be aware what your sugar switch is. If something you eat turns that sugar switch on, and if you have a hard time getting back into low carb living, you want to just keep those foods to a minimum. If you fall off, get back on as soon as you can. The best thing you can do is just to make the choice that you are going to live low carb and stay that way, because that's how you stay healthy. If you stop living low carb and go back to the standard American disaster of a diet, you're going to have disease again. You're going to mess up your metabolism, you're going to gain the weight back, and you're going to be messed up. And so you want to look at this as a lifestyle change that is going to correct your health long term for longevity, that you get to live life and get out and have adventures and take weekend trips and get out and have 5 to 7 miles of wandering around and growing your brain. Your hippocampus gets more healthy as you get excited and explore life. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Let you know what I'm eating, what I'm doing on my road trip, and where you can go and get out and wander, especially in this cute little coastal town of Santa Cruz, just above Monterey and below San Francisco on the coast of Central California. So I hadn't been here before. It was my first time. Super cute when you get towards the coast, and this was kind of fun. Check it out. So tomorrow I'm going to head out to the Redwoods, and if I have reception, I'll come back on and we'll do another one of these. I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.